Remember,
Not much better.
Laddie said he's gonna be late.
I know. I just messaged him.
No, I'm talking about Spartan.
No, I saw the message. That's why I'm asking him how long he'll be late.
Not
But
sure.
we shall see.
I never know. We never know with Vlad. He could be 2 minutes. He could be an hour, because he does everything extremely slow.
Hey, Dak Bread, you can watch the live stream on my Discord. It's in advertisements.
Alrighty.
You
I'm
mean
just saying.
Twitch?
This is gonna be a fun session.
We shall see. Still in the process of getting my mojo back, but we shall see.
Drink coffee.
What mojo?
My early 200-page mojo.
Yeah, we still find that strange for you, man.
It's not actually 200 pages. It's more like 150 something at this point. I'll give him until 10, though I don't anticipate he'll join by then.
So, anyways, Dank Bread, how's your character shit going?
I gave up.
Why?
Too much work.
How?
Subclasses.
I already gave you a subclass.
There's way too much shit to research.
No, there isn't.
That's what I fucking said.
What for? What game?
Fifth
This
edition.
one, not this campaign specific.
This system.
Okay.
D&D in general. Apparently, there's just too much work to make a character.
I gave you the filters. I gave you the things. It's not research. It's just looking through things and seeing what looks cool.
Yeah.
You don't need to understand it. You just need to find what looks cool. Everything works.
Except for
Except
Ranger.
for Ranger.
Ranger works extremely well. He's my fucking go-to. Oh, you mean the class? Sorry.
Yeah. But anyways,
But also, yes, Ranger works extremely well. Tasha had it do a rework.
don't confuse him.
I'm talking to Dragon.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm just confused. You have literally basically the entire character already made. All you need is ability scores.
But he has to read.
You don't even need to really read. Yes, there's a lot of options, but you can just say, I want to be a human, and you can be a human. The options are for if you want to do something specific. Basically, however complicated you want to make the character is how much you have to research. If you don't want to have a complicated character, don't do research.
Just
That's all.
choose
that's all it is.
randomly.
Not randomly, but just you don't need to do research. Just find a random thing that has the stat bonus you want, which is intelligence, and that's it. There's a lot of them. Just pick one, and you're fine. You literally have the entirety of your class done in that like 30 minutes that we talked over text.
No, don't wait for him. He's late. Fuck him.
I anticipate the most of the beginning will be YouTube.
I'm gonna fucking leave him in the dust. Fuck you.
Huh, I didn't know you swing that way.
I'm bi, motherfucker.
I mean, you do know he swings that way.
Yeah,
I mean, how
I am
often do
bi,
we
and
have
so
to-
is Trick.
How often do we have to talk about Spartan's sexy voice before you realize that they sing
Exactly, bro.
I really don't know if you're right about that one.
Oh, don't
I
worry.
don't
Your
deal with
voice,
music.
your voice is like a step below Corpse Husband.
You say so.
Corpse
It is
husband?
deep. It is deep. It is sexy. So fuck me hard.
Is it under Corpse Husband?
Wait,
Corpse Husband is
I
like
will
way too gravelly.
I enjoy
sounds-
that voice.
No, I can get that, but like basically it sounds like he has a deep voice but a terrible microphone. And that's it.
Okay.
So,
By the way,
You would call him-
because we have a new viewer, we should probably all introduce our characters.
Actually, that would not be a bad idea to make up time while Lad's not here. We can start from the beginning.
who wishes
Whoever wants
to
to.
introduce?
I'll start with introductions. My character's name is Trek Highland of John Highland's Traveling Circus. I am what is known as a changeling. This means I can shift my appearance to be anything I want within reason. And my class is a rogue, so I'm sneaky stealthy. I deal lots of damage in one hit. And my subclass lets me do some illusionary and enchantment magics. And I am such a fucking prankster, and I pick on Dragon King's character a lot.
Because he hates my character.
No, I don't hate your character. You're just easy.
And plus his background, my character's background.
That also helps with it, yeah. And speaking of which, that's a good segue into Dragon King's character.
I play Rakula Lawburn. First of
Rebecca.
his. What? What?
He said, "Be right back." You can continue.
Okay. My character, I play Rakul Lawburn, bastard son of a noble family. He is a Gith artificer. Should I rephrase? Gith divine artificer in Spartan's game. And I am pretty much a bastard son, and I'm from my character's from the capital. He's shy. He doesn't like violence that much, but when push comes up, he's willing to fight, but doesn't enjoy it at all. And which is the polar opposite of our big boy here, Ivor.
Greetings. I am Ivor Siegfried, a big man from the Forbidden North. Has very few words to say, but very many axes to throw.
And many axes to grind, too.
No, just throw. If they're blunt, then they hurt more.
He also introduces him to Lad's character while he's gone.
Lad's character is a dude. He does things.
Lad plays Lucius.
That's still wrong.
I know.
Back.
Plays
There's
Lucy,
definitely close enough, I guess.
who is
Yeah, Lad plays an
Drow.
elf, a dark elf, also known as Drow. His class is Bard, so he's generally more charismatic than most.
But he also has a bad habit of not loving up his character correctly.
That's his character. That's the player's fault.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
I
a
know.
dumbass.
Spartan, can you make sure his character is leveled up correctly this time?
I could do that. I probably won't though.
It is.
I
Don't worry.
really will
Did he
not.
chose as a good, decent spells?
I have no idea. I'll leave that to his jurisdiction.
I think maybe I'm looking some stuff up for my Wednesday game. D&D Dragon slurs. Insults.
Okay, hello.
There is the bitch.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello.
I
Well,
do, I do, I do want
yeah.
to ask how long is this session predicted to be?
Why?
Usual amount of time.
It will go for as I have things prepared, which I'm not too sure. I think maybe like
Okay.
2.5 hours, maybe
Are you-
somewhere around there.
Are you gonna leave after an
Okay.
hour again?
No, I want to make sure that I have enough time between after this game and before my next game to finish up the rest of the work that I have.
Let's stop
'Cause I
wasting
do ha-
time and let's start playing.
Yeah.
That is true. I think there should be some time, but really it just depends on how fast you
Yeah.
guys do things.
Yeah,
we
I
shall see.
might have to delay my game just a little bit in order for it to work, but yeah.
Okay, let
I
me
get more movie and
close
English
on the
if I don't need to play
tabs.
longer.
Okay. While I organize things, who would like to recap last session? Let me
I will.
go ahead.
We were woken up by Grammy, or AKA the Withered Witch. I mean,
No.
Lady Withered Wood.
No.
Witherwood.
Close enough. There you go.
Witherwood. It's literally an NPCs.
Yeah.
He butchers names all the time.
I know, but that's why we're helping him.
I was telling Dank.
Anyway, after us being tangled up and being saved thanks to Winry, that after Ivor got hit the door slammed in his face, we recouped and tried to talk with her. We discussed a few things. Raku learned the reason why the town was destroyed. And we then set off on our travels.
Yes, you have since set off, specifically continuing on the last bit of your journey to Tingale. The village you're heading to as part of your quest of sorts given to you by Maestro Sharp of Symphony's Orchestra. Yeah, that is where we pick up. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it's like early afternoon
Early
that
morning.
you late morning, early afternoon, either way. That you're leaving Lady Witherwood's neck of the woods and are continuing onto the path. I believe like east northeast, towards where you believe Tingale village is.
Yes. Oh, wait, I got also do my health because I remember taking damage during travels. Done. Yes, we are.
Okay, continue on your way, following the few markers that there are alongside this dirt path for the moment. You're about an hour into your journey when, we'll say, let's roll 1d4.
Say Ivor is the one who's usually trying to scout around.
Well, it was going to be either anyway because you're second. Well, it's not exactly something that you notice due to scouting, but more so something that you feel. Just as you're kind of going along, you've all kind of noticed vaguely that the sky has darkened marginally. These kind of large and gray clouds coming overhead. And then you, Ivor, feel the first drop of rain that splashes against your skin. And this kind of slow drizzle that continues afterward.
Neat. I'm gonna roll a quick survival, see how bad I think this rain is gonna get.
Oh no, not rain.
9. Well, at that actually, Dragon King, I don't know if you would actually think of the rain as a bad thing, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
9, a little bit different from the kind of snow clouds that you used to. You're not too sure. You're leaning towards it might get worse later on, but as of right now, it's not too bad.
Gotcha. Then I would let them know that I don't think it's gonna get much worse, although in case it does, keep an eye out for any bits of cover if we need to find it. We need to take shelter.
I believe we should be okay.
And then I'll spend the majority of my perception looking for caves and such places to get out of the rain in case it starts getting bad.
You can do so.
So, what were you saying about the rain for me?
You can roll a religion. Trick, you can do a religion or a history, either one, if you want to.
I would. Both are the same. I'm gonna go history.
17.
Yeah, that's
More
par
or
for the
less.
course today.
Yeah, that is what I was expecting, more or less.
Fuck you. It's me rolling.
Okay, let me scroll. Okay.
I don't think I see the right map. Unless we are looking at the big map.
Big map.
Big map?
Are indeed on the big map. at the
Always
moment.
big map.
Alright.
Usually big map.
Always big map.
Big map. Big map. Big map.
I'm the map. I'm the map.
I'm the map. I'm the map.
For you, Rakul, you can think of the rain however you want to, but I'll give you the context. To a degree, it might strike you as somewhat comforting. For followers of the Golden Order, which is like most of the world, the rain isn't really a bad omen. it's more so a sign of fortune and like growth and crops ripening. Um, to the righteous and to the kind and the strong of heart, the rain is more so a symbol of benediction, specifically the prince's benediction on the lands between.
Rain brings life.
Raku
Makes
will let
sense.
the water, like the rain, fall on his face, like go through his hair, and just like, now that's refreshing.
Indeed.
He,
I wonder,
what?
do you know who I'm referring to when I say prince?
If you have to be more specific, there's probably many princes of the royal family.
That's why I was expecting you to ask, but
Which
okay.
prince?
If I were to guess, it'd be the one we don't like.
Godric?
Uh,
Or
No,
wait.
Godric is the bastard,
Yeah.
No,
I know.
no, no, no.
and no one likes Godric. Not even the royal family.
I don't.
not true, actually.
Most
I'm
of the
not
royal
good
family.
with names. With
We
remembering
know.
names.
Yeah. Anyway, religion again, I guess.
No, I was going to give it to you if you asked with your 17.
And I did ask which prince.
Yes. It is very much so the prince. Like when people say the prince, they're generally referring to one person in particular, which is Marcellus.
Prince Marcellus.
Who, as you know, is the twin brother of Marielle.
Oh yes. He still feels refreshed.
Of course, your mind also does linger to the other side of the symbolism of rain, which is to the depraved and to the wicked. The rain is a reminder that no evil will go unnoticed and unpunished. And you're not entirely sure which one you fall under.
He pretty much just when he remembers that he looks at this hammer. He just stands in the rain, looks at his hammer as it falls on it, and just wonders to himself about that question.
Now, it does continue on as just a light drizzle for the most part. You do all kind of get soaked a little bit, but nothing too significant that you need to take shelter from, at least immediately.
Lucidus just has a wide brimmed hat, like he's fine.
Yeah.
We'll like dig up a few worms from places so that way we can get some fish at some point. As I assume there's a good amount of rivers and stuff.
Companions, may I ask you all a question?
Hmm?
Do you,
What appears to be the matter?
do you think we're wicked?
In the eyes of, in the eyes of,
Yes.
in the eyes of law, I guess so.
It's
Averages
a
is yes.
it's a complicated question to
Not really.
think about it because I believe we all have some form of wickedness in us, but more less wicked intentions. I mean, from what I've seen, we all come from backgrounds of perhaps not the most virtuous of origins, but we all have a pure of heart in some form. It's simply a matter of what defines wickedness.
Do you think what we're doing is get? I know we've been told our purpose. What Lady Witherwood told us that the Tarnish are meant to bring order, but doesn't seem that way. Like she said, most Tarnish are killers who take the joy in killing innocent people.
Gonna kind of look at you and need to turn that up a little bit. There we go. That might help. Ivor's going to look at you and he's going to go, right now, our only purpose is to bring Melina to the elevator.
And what after that? Do we just go our separate ways? Let the world fall into this this abyss?
Well, for now, I don't believe it's really in an abyss. People are still living their lives.
In
Children are
terror.
born, they live, they laugh, they meet, they grow up, they meet people they love, they have kids of their own,
Yet they
as was
hide.
done in time memorial.
They have. There are monsters that roam on the lands, on these lands with no fear at all.
And we are one of those monsters.
If what Lady Witherwood,
Regardless of what the Lady Witherwood has said,
and what if she's right that we are meant to bring order?
then you
Then
can
she's
bring
wrong.
Then you can bring order as we go. But I
What do you
have a
stand
duty.
for, Ivor?
My word. That is the only thing I can stand for. That is the only thing I will stand for. It's the only thing I can protect. It's the only thing I can hold up. It is the last thing we all have. It is the last thing anyone has.
You know, I wonder, what is Lady Melina's intention?
As far as
Do we know, aside from obviously bringing them to the tree and that sort of thing, but what will she do then, once we bring her to her destination?
she said she'll find her purpose there.
Well, given that you're looking for a purpose as well, perhaps we'll find it there. Either
Perhaps.
way, right now, what we are doing what we need to do. And that means getting to Tingale.
Very well.
We have to be more than what we see ourselves.
Perhaps, perhaps not. We might not know. But if Lady Melina finds their purpose at the Ed Tree, then perhaps we will find ours.
As we walk, Rakul would look up the sky and say, "Are you with her, Prince? I wonder if you are with her right now." I hope you both are happy right now.
You receive no response but the drizzle of rain on your forehead.
Yeah, it pretty much. He knows he probably won't get an answer. It's just hope, faith is maybe is being heard by someone benevolent. Wait, is benevolent the good one or I can't remember exactly a lot of times.
Benevolent is the good one, yes.
Yes, yeah. He's hoping someone benevolent is listening to his prayer. His prayer.
Okay. I that you continue onward. A number of hours passing by. Um,
We should probably may a bay maybe a little cover for us outside of town in the woods so they don't see us easily. Since
Probably a good idea.
I could probably make it. Just I need help getting wood.
We can do that. How far away are we from Tingale?
you'll probably arrive sometime today, earlier or later, depending on how long you take.
Mhm. We'll probably get there in before the end of the day. But gathering wood will have to wait until after the rain stops.
I don't think if the rain does stop, we do need somewhere to put a roof over our heads if it doesn't stop.
Mm.
His mind is somewhere else at this point. He's just thinking.
Yep. Yeah. Then Ivor will just keep going and is going to attempt to push us a little bit faster, get to near Tingale relatively soon, and keeping an eye out for civilization.
Can do so. As you continue onward with this stretch of your journey, however, you all hear this clap of thunder off in the distance. And as the rain continues, you can feel the downpour kind of increasing in intensity marginally.
I'm sorry, what was that? Get off for a second.
I said there's a clap of thunder off in the distance, and you can feel the downpour increasing.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Have we come across anything relatively nearby that we could take shelter under?
You have noticed, you hear? I think that here is better. I'm gonna go, yeah. You have noticed that there was, as you've been traveling along, for the most part, it's kind of just been sparse trees and flat land.
Mm-hmm.
Although there's the occasional hill and kind of uptick of the land and small cliffs. As you've continued on this path, you have noticed there's occasionally openings along the side of the cliff where one could potentially take shelter.
Gotcha. I'd look at one of them, and then with my superior dark vision, I'd like to peer in and see if any of them look big enough to hold the lot of us.
You can roll a survival.
Gotcha. 17.
17. So as the rain does begin to tick up, you begin looking for some kind of place to take shelter along these openings along the cliff. You do, as you poke your head into one, find one that you do believe is more than large enough to house all of you comfortably. This kind of small opening, not quite a cave of sorts, just kind of an opening inside the cliff. Though as you do peer in, kind of behind, kind of bend towards the back of this kind of stone space, you see a faint, flickering light. Just this orange, reddish kind of glow.
The moment
Fire?
presumably.
The moment Trick sees this, he's gonna pull out
Well,
a
did you
single
go with
dagger.
Ivan?
Oh yeah, I'm the fucking rogue. I'm
Okay.
supposed to be scouting anyway.
Alrighty.
I don't think we are as in letting let anyone go alone this time, even just two.
That
Honestly,
is fine.
Well, I assume I would see that first, so I'd like probably hold a hand out to whoever's following me.
He's moi.
should
Someone's already here.
mm,
I will then pull out both my daggers and get ready to go.
can we try to maybe?
Is Lucidus here?
He is.
I am.
Maybe try maybe more
Mhm.
diplomatic, be more nice. Instead of,
Mhm.
I will
Yeah,
whisper
that's
to
why I'm gonna. That's why I was gonna ask Lucidus.
motherfucker. I can also do the talkie talk, and I'm stealthier.
Well, the talkie talk doesn't want to be stealthy. You're stealthy, so you want to go in as backup in case they attack him or something.
Fair
That's
enough.
basically what I was thinking.
Who? Remind me again. Who are we talking to?
no one.
We
don't
don't know.
Pay,
So, anyways,
pay
I'm
attention.
going to go over to Lucidus, and I'm going to say quietly, "There's someone in this cave already. There's a fire going. Do you think you would be willing to try and talk to them?"
I believe I can do so. Yes.
Mhm.
Do you think it'd be a good idea for Leonidas to go with them?
Probably
No.
not.
Likely.
As I and instinctively just try to attempt to slip into shadows.
And I'll say Trick can follow you to in case anything happens.
We'll wait.
Already
out here.
gone.
Very well.
Piss off.
And Lucidus is going to use a bit prestidigitation to make a little magic light in the palm of his hand as he enters the cave.
It will do nothing.
I know. There's a purpose for it.
Okay, so Lucidus, you're making a arcane light in your hand, just a small flickering. Trick, you're kind of stealthing and going behind him. Yes.
Yep.
I'm mostly making it look like I'm simply searching the cave in general, not looking for anyone in particular, just kind of wandering the cave.
Okay. Well, so to clarify again, peering into this space, you see an initial kind of large opening that makes like this kind of initial part of the cave, and then like towards the back, where you can see with your dark vision, there it kind of curls around into like a smaller tunnel of sorts, and kind of bending around, and you can see in that space like a flickering light.
Oh, so it's like a tunnel with a like turn in it.
Correct.
I guess me and I would go we would go at least before the turn. We go to the edge of the turn, not to be seen in it. Am I wrong?
Uh,
And risk getting spotted.
No, where they can't see us.
Risk getting heard.
I'm just standing where I am and letting them
There
go
it-
in.
Dragon, there is a reason why we send in the talker
Okay.
and then stealthy boy.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, and Lucidus would approach this area um with the flickering light, not trying to hide his presence, simply approaching it and taking a look around.
You can do so. So wait, did you make a? Yes, you did stealth. Lucidus, you can roll perception.
Okay. Perception. 19.
Very good. So, as you near the bend, before you actually kind of turn and look through it, kind of honing in on your sense of hearing, you do hear the flickering of a fire. So you're fairly confident that's where the light is coming from. You do also hear, with your 19, two other things. You hear this kind of like sniveling, some kind of animal of sorts. Like this kind of like I don't know if I can mimic the sound, but essentially an
Like a weasel?
animal, not quite a weasel, but like is it like a mum? Basically, you hear a animal sound, some kind of
Wolf.
equine creature. Equine means horse.
They nay.
Not quite a neigh, but like just a sniveling. Second thing you also hear is this very faint thrumming of some kind of instrument, just coming from around the bend.
Interesting. Is it a tune that I recognize?
Not. It's more so just like an impromptu, just thrumming.
Okay. Lucidus will simply as he enter call out, hello. I is there someone here? I hear some form of something.
Okay. So you turn and say that,
Like as
or
he's
are
just
you just calling out?
so he like as he's entering, he's just kind of calling out.
Okay, so you're calling out as you're going around the bend.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
And I will stay like near the corner of the bend, but have my daggers like out and ready to go.
gotcha.
Do
Um,
do I see the source of the sound?
if you're peeking around the bend, you might.
Would.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I would.
Then yes, both of you, Lucidus and Trick, take this in as Lucidus steps forward, and you, Trick, just kind of peer around from the side. You see that there is indeed a campfire. What takes your attention, first of all, is there is this animal, this not quite horse, more so donkey, kind of laden with saddles that is kind of strapped to one side of this kind of opening that you now see. Sitting by the fire is a humanoid figure. They're wearing relatively odd dress. Though as you call out Lucidus, you see that on the kind of lute that they're playing, they kind of suddenly miss a note as they look up at you.
Oh, so there is someone here. I thought I heard a lute playing.
Yes, let me send a vague image. What you see?
Vague.
Said vague. It's not quite the same setting, same characters though.
Where are you posting this? Oh no.
Neat.
Santa.
Santa indeed. So yes, you see this kind of donkey off to the side that has saddles on it, and this humanoid figure with this kind of odd red and white clothing, sitting by a fire. They have a lute in one of their hands, and in their other hand, they have this kind of poker that they're adjusting the fire with.
Ah, I thought I heard a lute. What
Uh,
is a fine talented such as yourself doing in a cave?
so The rain came out of nowhere. But what are you doing in my cave?
Oh, your cave. This
Well,
is your
it is
cave.
now.
Oh. Well, I similarly came in here after the rain.
Just to take shelter for the rain, I hope, and not for my throat.
Oh, obviously not.
Well,
Myself and a few allies towards the entrance of the cave were simply wandering about, and when the rain started, we came across this cave. I heard a loot, and I came to investigate.
that's fortunate. For tarnished. If you're not after my throat, then why not purchase a little something?
Ah, are you a shopkeeper of some form?
Indeed, I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods.
I see. Nice to meet you, Kale. I'm Lucidus Corvus.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Corvus. And would you care to uh, assure your friend that you're not after my throat?
Of course. I am honored to be in the presence of of a fellow musician and a shopkeeper. I will make note to my allies of your presence and that of your purpose. And he'll call out, "It's clear."
If you say so.
I will immediately then stand up from behind the corner, daggers in hands. I just flip them around and put them back in their sheaths.
That's
Things
reassuring, at
are-
least. I take it he's not the only one.
Mhm.
As the rest of us
There's
come
about
in.
2 more coming by.
I'm gonna roll sleight of hand to see how well I can flip them around.
Nat 1, nat 1, nat 1.
Hang on, I need to open my sheet again. Because I made a new token for Trick. Because there was new masks on... There were new and better masks for Trick on Hero Forge.
Me.
Hey!
It is pretty good. You pull off an impressive flipping of the dagger by the tip,
Like
Uh,
gunslinger
balancing
kind of
it.
like flipping the gun around
Like
before I just put it back in the
Ocelot.
sheath. Yeah.
and like balancing the handle as it drops on the tip of your finger, and then catching it again.
Um, when Rakul sees him, he says, "Evening, I am Rakul Lauper."
Is Leonidas with you, or is he outside?
Oh yeah, he's with us. I don't want him to
I see.
get rusted.
I don't think gold rusts that easily.
It literally doesn't.
Well, the inside could.
He is...
He's
it-
very much waterproof.
Exactly, dude.
Okay,
like
stop
much like
poking
skin,
holes.
skin is made of gold.
Like, we're pointing this out because it doesn't make sense.
Rakul still
Use
wants
your
him near
brain.
him.
Use your brain, DK, if you still have one.
Fuck yours.
He does. He just chooses not to use
Go
it.
fuck yourself,
Fair.
please.
Okay.
No, that's my girlfriend's job.
Continuing onward.
Only if you watch me.
Well, before you actually say anything, Rakul, as this large metallic lion ambles up beside you, you see that Kale, this strangely dressed figure, instinctively just kind of jumps back and kind of pointing the hot poker at you.
It's all right. The golden lion is friendly, and as friendly as the owner is, which is that one. And I point towards Rakul.
Uh,
At any rate, my name's Trick.
Trick, pleasure to meet you. You're sure that thing's safe?
yes.
As long as you're friendly towards his owner.
Yes, he is safe. He will not attack anyone unless I give the command to attack.
Same thing I just said.
I am Rakul Lauper, and this my my construct is Leonidas.
Has Ivor come around the bend yet?
Yeah.
Okay. And moments before, like Ivor does come around the bend, and it's like our last companion is coming around the bend, and he's quite large. Don't worry about him. He's just a big cuddly teddy bear.
No, he's not. He's an ass.
I am just like not even looking at Rakul. I just flip him off.
Regardless, we. If you wouldn't mind, what wares do you have, Mr. Care?
Well, I say fine. Well, you are intending to purchase them, yes, not to just take them.
No, no.
Well, obviously.
I am no thief. I honestly prefer equal compensation for everything.
Of course. I assuming we have money, yes?
We do not.
Speak for
However,
yourself.
trade is still up for option.
You do have some coin, I'm
Ivor
pretty
would
sure.
say, I do have coin.
So do
Since
I.
when do you have coin?
I also have coin too.
Fuck you both.
I believe I have coin, I just don't
Am I
remember
the only
top
one
of
here
my-
without coin?
Yes. And
This
you're
is
Yeah.
bullshit.
and you're the
I
thief
need to
and you're
look.
the
Do
rogue too, and that's funny.
You say that out of character or in character?
In character.
That's not a good thing to say, but
It's not a good
okay.
thing to say. You generally say more like thief instead of rogue.
But anyways, Ivor would kind of look to him and go, and I'll pull out like one of the gold coins and like flip it on my fingers a little bit.
May I?
I just kind of like throw up my hands in exasperation. I'm like, God fucking damn it.
What kind of goods do you sell? As Rakul sits down to the fire too.
Roleplay
You
question.
manage your coin trick well enough, yes.
Roleplay question. How is the fire getting low at all?
Not at the moment, really.
Okay.
Actually, I don't believe we got your name, sir.
Okay, hold on.
You
There's
did.
multiple things.
Name is
Thing.
Kale.
We
Yeah.
did.
And he got introduced.
Okay.
Remember when you gave lad shit earlier for not paying attention?
Sorry.
I can actually. I'm pretty sure I have a thing for him. Let me see. Kale.
Kale. Okay. Um, may I ask what kind of goods you sell, Mr. Kale?
You can when I'm not coherent. Well, first to Ivor. When you kind of pull out the gold coin, you do see that he absolutely takes notice. His attention going to you as probably actually you, Ivor. I'm not sure if even in your time you would have really dealt with too much gold.
Nope.
Yeah.
I understand it's valuable, but Ivor doesn't really understand exactly how valuable a gold piece is,
He does-
especially in a completely separate country many hundreds of years after he was born.
He doesn't understand the value of money.
I understand that money's
Oh, yeah,
valuable. I
bit
just
of a-
don't know how much a gold piece is worth in this country and
Bit
this
of
world.
a bit of a catch up for Dank. We are tarnished. We died and only recently discovered. It has been 400 years since we died.
Seasons.
Years because he didn't. I said
Seasons
years.
and years are the exact same thing.
Yes, because he did, and I said years because I didn't think that he would understand when I said seasons.
And
Full
also,
English.
your mother specifically said years.
Oh.
Yes, also that. Years and seasons are synonymous. Seasons is just more common than years.
Okay.
I will say again. Remember when you gave lad shit for not paying attention?
Okay, whatever. May I, Mr. Kane? May I ask what kind,
Kale.
Mr.
It's fine. Let him continue. Yes.
Mr. Kale, may I ask what kind of goods you provide?
Well, I've got lots of stuff. Let me see. and you see he ambles up over to the donkey, which is very suspiciously eyeing all of you. He goes to the saddle, reaches in, and he kind of shuffles things around, and going through it, he lists, I've got a pot that's got a few cracks in it. I've got an eyeglass. I've got a throwing dagger. Got a few bolts and arrows. Got a few torches. I've got a shield,
Hmm.
and not too much else besides that.
May I?
I will perk up. How many arrows do you have?
I've got 2 bundles of 20.
How much would it be for 5 arrows and the eyeglass? By eyeglass, do I mean does he mean like
Monocle.
Telescope.
yeah telescope kind of thing?
Yeah, he means like the thing that like you imagine that like pirates have. That thing.
The looking glass. Here.
Correct.
May I see that pot for a moment?
He will remove the pot from the saddle and hand it to you.
Can I roll Arcana to see if it's magical or not?
You can.
18.
18. Very nice.
As described, it is very much so a cracked pot.
Hmm. Are there any?
Probably do something with that. At
Hmm.
any rate, how much would it be for about 5 arrows and the eyeglass?
One gold.
Would you be up for a bit of trade?
I'm gonna roll an insight, but I'm pretty damn. I don't even really need it. I'm just going to kind of like look at him because that sounds like a bit much, especially since I happen to bring out a gold piece.
This is true.
Even right.
Also, my laptop decided to restart, but continue.
Okay, hold on. Someone's at my door.
Is there anything noticeable about the pot at all? Or is this just a regular ass pot?
Hello?
Run.
Hello?
There you go.
Hello?
I did not hear like the last like 10 seconds of what was said.
Can I tell if the pot's anything about the pot? Like, is there anything special about it?
It's very much so a cracked pot.
So the answer is no.
No.
I'd also like to thank Rakul for trying to take the roleplay from me.
Sorry.
I know you're trying to get things, but it would be probably a little more polite if we waited, because we're kind of throwing Spartan back and forth between like 3 different characters.
Okay.
14 on insight.
Well, still restarting, but with your 14 insight, you can tell that there is like a bit of perspiration on the like running down the sound of his like cheek. He is somewhat tense, kind of with anticipation.
And then I'm just gonna kind of look at him and tense with that in like that he's trying to overcharge us or just trying to get us out of here with whatever he can give us because he's like scared of Tarnished.
It's kind of both. It's very much so concern about being in this enclosed space with more tarnished. But also seeing how much you'll be willing to pay rather than steal.
I ask him, and how are you up for a bit of trade? Might have
Er,
a few resources that you might enjoy. Mostly just one, but yeah.
You know, what do you have?
I have 2 vials of ancanic acid.
Well, I suppose I could take it off your hands, but I imagine that'd be more useful to you than to me.
I've got 2.
Ivor's gonna kind of look at him, and is gonna.
I start fishing out the vial of lesser acid.
And seeing that, Ivor is going to speak up and say, "I don't think you need to part with that. After all, that's just his opening bid. A bit of negotiations is always the very first part with any merchant." And I'm going to kind of look at him and I'm going to say, "Now, I can see that that you're a bit nervous that we're here. It would likely be a fool to not be. And I doubt you are one. Just like only a fool would try to overcharge us."
I'd never try to overcharge. It's only tarnish like yourself who keep things from drying up entirely.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I very much appreciate that. But 5 arrows even is by no shouldn't be even a factor in really the price of that looking glass. And well, not to insult you or anything, but it's not exactly the most pristine instrument in the world.
You've got me there, but can't blame me for trying. Tough times are tough these days.
I know. I don't blame you,
I'll-
but I'm not going to. But there is no way I'm going to pay the first price a merchant throws out.
Fair enough. I'll take it for a handful of silver.
And Ivor's going to say 2 silver.
Come on, 2 silver.
Can I look
Come on, that's a
and
bit
see
cheap,
how
isn't it?
how
And-
good?
Well, I know that's the point of negotiating.
Can I
I was-
tell? Sorry.
Yes.
Can I tell how good those arrows and the looking glass look?
Well, the arrows, like just looking at them, like they seem very much so standard. Looking glass seems a bit weathered, though functional.
Hmm. And would I know how much those would cost in general, like normally?
Well, more or less, like he said, it would be like a handful of silver, somewhere in that range. Most of the price is coming from the looking glass, though. The arrows are inconsequential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, we're doing the looking glass. But I mean, that's the point of it. And I am going to say I'm by no means trying to intimidate him. I'm trying to keep this strictly a negotiation thing.
I gotcha.
Handful of silver is how much?
It would be a handful, but I tried to put a specific number in it, which is lower than what he would expect a handful to be.
How's about I give you a price of 4 silver, and I throw in that cracked pot for your friend there?
Hmm. About how much would the shield be, does Ivor think?
That's a great question. I think looking at the table for shield prices, that it would be just about not on the table.
Yeah, I can tell you the price. You just give me a second. Like what an average shield would be. An average shield is actually fairly expensive. It tends to be around 10 gold, like in the book itself, like in the base 5th edition book.
I see it. Then the quality shields, depending on the like make could be anywhere from like oh wait, actually, hold on. So wait, 150. 10 is 1. Okay. Probably anywhere from like 50 silver to like 3 gold.
Okay.
It kind of
How much silver is in a gold?
It's so it's
10
10
silver.
silver, 1 gold. However, from the base prices of 5e, I go down by a factor of 10. So in 5e, a shield costs 10. In this world,
1.
correct.
Okay. I'm going to bring out a. I'm going to add 2 silver to the gold piece, and I'm going to say about 1 gold, 2 silver pieces, and you can throw in the pot and the shield.
You know what? I suppose I'll take it. It's been a while since I've even had a touch of gold.
Um, you say things been hard. How so?
Have you seen the lands recently?
I have to admit.
We're a bit of a wandering group. We hardly stay in one place.
Yes.
Hmm.
Although we have heard rumors of more than a few rumors of bandits in the area.
Oh
That-
yes, but bandits are the least of our troubles. I am of a nomadic people. That's awares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring.
Yes, that's one thing I have noticed.
The Elden Ring. Would that be something Ivor knows, or?
It has been mentioned.
Yeah, it hasn't mentioned before.
But, like, is it something I would know?
Or
Thank you for the echo.
From your history in the north, to a lesser degree, you've definitely heard the word before sometime in your youth when you were attending like the masses that they held in your village.
um, what if what of me?
It's been explained before in
Yeah.
the campaign.
Yeah,
That might have been a day I wasn't here, because I
Very
don't
possible.
yeah, I believe
Uh,
the Elden Ring is pronounced what the Elden Lord is and what we're after. That our broad goal is, kind of.
not necessarily. Uh, so it was Melina looking through the history who explained it to you in some detail.
Mhm.
She said that the Elden Ring is the covenant of God. It is that which unites the goddess Marika and the Erdtree.
Yeah, it's the connection to the Earth Tree.
As I've mentioned, there's one god in the lands between, but that god kind of has 2 parts, which is the goddess Marika and the Erdtree.
Okay.
Yes.
And basically, the reason that everything's all fucked up is that
The
the
shadow.
connection between those two is shattered. So the gods basically is impotent now.
Fair enough assessment, yes.
But
Gotcha.
let's not bring it that way.
Hmm.
I will have to admit, Limgrave, it looks in dire need for aid.
And I'm going to kind of look to Merchant Kale, and I'm going to ask. As you can tell, a few of us do not have much coin. Might you be aware of any problems that are in the air that some tarnish might be able to get some coin for clearing up?
For tarnished, I don't. Truth be told, I don't know many that associate with tarnished. No offense.
Uh, none
None
taken.
taken, but I mean more something that people might be happy enough to see gone, that they'll look past us being tarnished at least long enough for us to get paid.
Uh, best of my knowledge, I do know that there's been some trouble with beasts to the Weeping Peninsula to the south.
Mm-hmm.
So that's several weeks' travel.
Some
Around here, not so much that I'm aware of.
Um, let me see.
all right.
And the Weeping Peninsula, as you're aware, is this.
Mm-hmm. Is that where we got the wolf stuff from? Like, is that where we were?
No, Lingrave, where you're at, is here.
Okay, gotcha. So like south, even like farther south from where we were.
Correct. It's essentially a different region.
Gotcha.
You said it's a crack pot, right?
Correct.
Could I use Mendon to form it?
You definitely can.
Yeah, so start doing some magic mumbo jumbo casting for 10 minutes in front of this dude. I'm sure that'll go well. Or no, casting for 1 minute, my mistake.
Um, you wouldn't have any information on any events that's happened in Limgrave recently, have you?
Recently, not so much of note. The lands between are very much so stagnant. The only thing I can really say is that Godric's been building his army and recruiting again. So that's par for the course.
Yeah, Godric. Um, I'm trying to think, but I think I don't. I want to ask a certain question, but I don't know if I should.
It's up to you.
Have we paid for the stuff yet?
I assume that you have.
Yeah, I subtracted it
you
from my inventory.
Okay, that would have been nice to know.
have your arrows and
And
your
a looking glaze.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know.
DM, I would like the stats for the spyglass, so I know what I got.
I see. Okay.
Mr.
And
Kale.
it is
Sorry.
well, it's very much so just holy crap. Wait. Um
No, you don't get to pull out this time.
so looking at how much a spyglass actually costs.
It's like 1,000 gold, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't see why.
There's kind of. It's basically saying that they're very rare. They're usually used instead of as like a functional piece, more as like a telescope, is what that one is. Like for actually like looking up into the stars and like mapping the universe and stuff like that.
I see. Well, we're gonna say that it's just a weathered looking glass, which is why it's so cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yes, weathered and like probably slightly broken.
Mr. Kale, you wouldn't be any knowledgeable on probably magical effects, would you?
Not so much. No. Why do you ask?
Because on our travels, me and my companions found this disc, and I believe we have magical properties. But I really can't.
I mean, because he isn't too well versed in magical effects, maybe he could tell us where we could find a sorcerer of some kind to help us out.
I can't particularly say. You'd probably hear more about it in Thingale.
Yeah.
I mean,
I imagine.
it didn't hurt to ask.
Well, that is, if they'd even allow you within their borders, which I doubt.
Yes,
That won't really be a problem.
we've been told that they will most likely run us out of town if they see us.
Hmm. The presence of Godric soldiers there is higher than most anywhere else, besides Stormhill, of course.
Stormhaven. So that's to keep peace held open.
DM, would I know where that is generally, or is that a town I've never heard of?
I said Storm Hill, and yes, you do know. Storm Hill is basically kind of the northern region of Limgrave,
Our destination.
kind of like sectioned off. It's not necessarily your destination.
It's like behind this weird wall looking thing.
Correct. Wait, I'm not actually on the map, but
Like on the top left of like the place where we are, this like weird wall looking thing behind that.
not so much. Let me see if I can get a mouse. I can do it. It is more so this right here. Wait. No snapping. More so this.
So did he say that we would have better luck finding a magic user in Stormhill?
He said Tingale. He said you would. He himself does not know, but you could probably find out more about it in Tingale.
Yeah, and when he mentions barely going to be difficult to cross the border, I pick up my hand and I start like performing some prestidigitation Flintstone magic in my hand. I said, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue.
Ah, you have training from the academy.
Not traditionally.
Were
My
you a dropout?
mother had training from the academy, and she left and taught me how. Unfortunately, because I don't have traditional education, I can't do much out of the veil of illusions and enchantment.
Ah, well, that's still quite amazing as it is. Don't see too much of that in Limgrave.
Oh. So what you're saying is most people don't know how magic works. And in my head, things are like the cogs are starting to turn, realizing that people don't know the difference between illusion and conjuration, which means an investigation check against minor illusion can't be made.
To a degree.
Yeah, I figured you'd say something like that. Like people like the party, people like in the party are like actual sorcerers. Like notice, like, hey, wait a minute, something ain't right.
I think I have heard some ramblings of a sorcerer somewhere in Limgrave. Don't know the specifics myself. Sorry to say.
Oh, that's fine. Any information is better than no information.
Indeed. And while we are here, there are others of my people who yet survive in these lands. If the mood takes you when you encounter one, I would entreat you to offer them some trade, won't you?
Of course. Would I know his people at all, or have heard of his people?
That is an interesting question. I'm leaning towards no.
Ah. so I can't roll history.
You just spoke fucking Wookiee there, bruh.
I'm leaning towards not specifically no.
So no, I don't. Damn it.
You do not.
Has he told us who his people are?
Not specifically.
May I ask who your people are? I don't think I ever recognized your attire before.
My people, we are wanderers, all. We've long been spurned by the grace of gold. As for what we are, that I'll keep to myself. Though,
What is he keeping to himself?
What he is.
but perhaps thanks to that, we are not so different, you and I, your people, the Tarnished, and mine.
Well, I would also say my people as well. Some of us get hunted to extinction because we're different.
Indeed. Perhaps you don't need to hear this, but I would entreat you to see that no harm comes to my kin. We have a saying, lament not your solitude, expect no sympathy, no regard, nothing. But if anyone dares harm us, show them no mercy. That is our code, so to speak.
We
I
understand.
will take a knee very close to him, not like directly next to him, but like across the fire. And I will stare at him through my mask and I'll say, I swear on the lifeblood of my mother.
Out of character. Do you think this would be a good idea to ask if you have any information on people that may not actually may work against Godric at all, or not a good idea to ask?
Up to you.
Mr. Kale, I would like to ask you a question, but I don't know if it's honestly a good one. Honestly,
Feel free to ask,
I'm
and
wrong.
I'll see to it that I answer if it is in my power.
you wouldn't have heard rumors of anyone who may work against Godric at all, would you?
Ha, that's being serious.
Yes.
I can't really say that I have. Godric's been the Lord of Limgrave for time immemorial. Anyone working against him? Not that I'm really aware of.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna insight him if he just
You can English, it's okay.
shut up.
Never.
Yeah, 20.
Wait. So while you're doing that, Ivor, because I'm 90% of the time not on the roll 20. Remind me what that was for.
Um, the the history was basically for like when he was talking about like who he is and like his code and stuff. If that sounded familiar to Ivor. And then the insight was for earlier when he said he didn't have any knowledge of magic.
For the insight, you get that he's more or less telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. He's probably like seen
At
it before,
least-
but doesn't really understand it or anything.
Right. Something along those lines. As for the history, you don't specifically recall anything about like his code, though when he mentions that his people have long been spurned by the grace of gold,
Hmm.
that is often common for dwellers of the north, as it's often that, at least in ages past, people immigrated to the north as a result of being spurned. It is a place of outcasts. In many ways, almost like Australia.
Nice. Hmm. I'm gonna kind of look to him, and after a little bit, I'm going to ask, "Are you from the north?"
Me specifically, no. Not really my people, so we're from all around.
Hmm. Just I've heard that phrase a lot growing up. Spurned by the gold.
Mm. It is not uncommon for those who lose favor, uh, or for the misbegotten.
Do I get anything for that net 20?
Remind me what it was for.
If he's not telling me the full truth, that he knows anyone who may stand against God.
With your Natroni, you get he very much so finds the idea humorous. It's he doesn't know of anyone who stands against Godric, or he doesn't know of anyone who would stand against Godric, or who even could stand against Godric.
So, spec. Okay, I appreciate. I appreciate it at least. Thank you.
Mhm. If that is all, I'll tend my donkey. Seems like she doesn't like your company too much.
I
But of course.
am very sorry for that.
I want to inside that. I want to see if it's his donkey or just him.
Okay.
Somebody roll for me. I'm currently making lunch.
I rolled d20. How much? 2.
Donkey has been looking at you.
What's your modifiers?
It really doesn't matter too much with a two.
No. I think I have a negative anyway.
I got a +2 for animal handling.
Ah, because you are an animal.
Yeah.
But if that is all, he kind of steps away from the fire, going to like brush the hair of his donkey, as it was kind of wet and soaking from the rain.
I will take a few steps forward, not really like approach. Just so I don't try. I'm trying to not scare the donkey because I actually believe him, and I'll say, "You need not worry, friend. You have an ally among the tarnished. 4 of them, to be exact."
Well, that is encouraging to hear. Exactly what is it that you tarnished a journeying for?
We've got a few different quests. One of them is to settle a debt with the symphony's orchestra. It's
Those
the reason
bastards.
why we're here in Tingale.
I see. You've managed to get
Remind me,
yourself them then.
yeah, remind me why we're in Tingale again. It's not something to do with Tingale, but something surrounding Tingale.
To find information about bandits that they may have something.
Did we mention this?
No.
You have mentioned like information on bandits. He didn't. He said he didn't know too much, but that you could probably find more in Tinio.
Okay. I just wanted to know.
Hmm.
About before we were unable to settle debt for some of our equipment, as we had no gold at the time, to rid the area of Windcheck of wolves. Now we died, and now we're back and trying to settle the debt. Once we're done with that, we're going to head north to the Erdtree and take our maiden there.
Your maiden, I took you for maidenness.
She does not exist most of the time on the visual plane. She's with us, just not
Physically.
physically here.
You see that Kale kind of stares past Utrick to Ivor.
And Ivor would say she took a lot of energy. She ended up using more energy than she thought she would to save us from a bad spot. And is resting now.
Alright, well, can't say it's the oddest thing I've heard in my travels, but it's definitely up there.
Well, have you ever heard of 4 Tarnish working together?
No, that's even stranger. I mean, even a duo of Tarnish working together, that's
And even
something I've
and
never
even less,
encountered.
and even more strange, kind Tarnish, such as us.
Indeed, 'tis rather peculiar, though at this point I'm just taking my good luck where I can.
Actually, I kind of do have a question. Would you know any way for work if you could help spread word of maybe our kindness, maybe to other villages if you go to any?
It would matter less about the word of our kindness getting out, and we more have to worry about the blades of Godric soldiers.
I don't think that would be doable with that part.
Regardless,
Unbelievable.
I doubt it would be so easily believed by just one individual.
I mean, he is a merchant. He could start rumors, and
Rumors
some people
spread.
believe rumors, others don't.
Yes, but he doesn't exactly have much of a reason to do that for us.
Yes, but that's why I'm just asking.
Well, you seem like a kind enough lot, but what you're asking is a bit more difficult than that. I go around talking about Tarnished, I'm liable to get myself killed.
Fair enough.
But you'll generally find that the further south you go, the more tolerable the villages are.
Wait, what do you say? Further south?
So,
Ugh. That's not good.
Unfortunately, our quarry is north.
naturally, the further you go from Godric's influence, the less he pays attention. Right, and
Oh, a
you
good
said
warning
quarry.
anyway when we head to the Erdtree.
The thing that both of you two say, he just kind of opens his mouth and then closes it and turns back to stroking his donkey.
Wait, did he say something?
No.
All
What
I-
was he?
Did I hear stroking the donkey?
He's brushing the donkey's hair, yes.
Okay.
Settle down there, Ranger.
Rakul just sees how he just sits down and just pays attention, works on pretty much just works on something to himself, works on something while he waits for the rain to stop.
I will head to like around the bend and start like flipping one of my daggers between my fingers as I just watch the cave entrance.
Alright. Anyone else doing
I would
anything?
also like to stealth into the shadows and put on my stealth mask.
Gotcha. You can roll it.
I will roll myself
24.
my own.
What happened? I think I missed something.
We're just waiting now for the rain to stop.
20 plus.
Okay.
That is a 24.
Gotcha. Okay. As everyone begins to settle in, Lucidus, Ivor, are you doing anything in particular?
Grimshaw.
Scrimshaw.
Clarify for me?
He's doing etchings.
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
taking like the board tusks and I'm doing like etchings and stuff in them.
Understood.
I just find it comedic that Ivor, the fucking barbarian, the epitome of fucking rage and unbridled fury, is making Scrimshaw.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking amazing.
Suppose
And Scrimshaw's
can
actually
use-
really good too.
can use survival for it, though it would normally be some kind of like artisan tool.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that's
Fine.
funny.
I whispered it to you, but oh well, it's 16.
Yes. And Lucidus for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Lucidus isn't particularly doing anything. He's most likely just going to be playing his viol while we wait for the rain.
Fair enough. Alright, so Rakul, as time passes, you spend some time finishing up your wood carving. And by the time that the rain does begin to clear up, you feel that it is finished. Final product has been made. Happy keeping track of your roll. Averages out to about.
Above average. Very good.
It is above average.
Ooh, we're making money off this.
It's not quite like masterwork. It is definitely above average, though. So yes.
He smiles
Though
and
you wanted
tucks
to keep it on the down low, so we can do that.
Yeah, he smiles at it and just tucks it away.
Yes. Ivor,
Try to make an alchemy joke.
You
not quite.
never know.
Ivor, you also make some progress on few of the tusks, making your like decorations on them and engravings.
I'm using the normal boar tusks for the moment.
And lastly, you trick. So remind me where you are.
I am like around the bend, like in a kind of like an in cave into the wall of the cavern we are in. Cavern, cave, whatever the fuck. And I'm just kind of like sitting in there, under my own cloak, flipping around a dagger absentmindedly, and just watching the entrance.
Understood. Time passes. You don't notice anything that approaches. Though eventually you do take notice of the rain that is like after like a handful of like maybe 2 hours or somewhere less than that does slowly begin to decline to just a very slight drizzle.
Nice.
I will very stealthily move back to my companions and tell them around the bend and say, rain stopped, mostly.
Oh, what time of day is it now?
What time of day did it look?
I mean, the sun's a little bit blocked out. Based on time, though, it's probably like late afternoon.
We could probably get a few more hours in a walking before the sun sets.
Oh yes, that seems about right. We hope to run to you again, Mr. Kale.
Indeed, I have a sneaking suspicion we will one of these days.
It seems that everyone we run into keeps saying that.
Funny thing that don't get yourselves killed. I look forward to your business.
And we look forward to do business with you. I guess at this point we start walking out.
I guess so.
During our travels, can I cast Mended on the pot?
I thought you already did.
No, I didn't do it in front of him.
You can do so easily enough. Just resting the Dawnstar, which you do know how to activate at this point. I'm assuming.
Rise and Dawn.
Correct. Just rest the Dawnstar and let its divine magics flow into it and restore the chipped bit. And it is eventually just a pot and not a cracked pot.
We could probably find something useful for this, but I don't see how.
And with that, you continue onward. After a few minutes of traveling, you can all make a perception check. Ground's a little bit soggy, though it's still firm enough to continue your trek.
Ready.
Ooh, that's a natural 20. Okay.
I told you
I
I'm
see.
a scout.
Let me see.
14.
Lucius, you can roll if you want to also.
Perception?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
16.
So it was 8, 14, 16, 22 with natural 20. Just as you're going by, the downpour has slowed to just a drizzle, making it slight enough for you to continue walking, continue on the way to Tyndale. Though there is just off in the distance a single clap of thunder, and just this flash of light. Rakul, to you, it's just a flash of thunder. Just you're blinded for a second, but you don't see too much.
I think. Curious. I look at the disc. Does it seem like it's changing because of the weather?
It's funny you do mention that. Looking down, well, afterwards, looking down at the disc, you can see that. So as I described, it's for the most part, a gray metallic disc. However, on the kind of perimeter edge, there's like 1 inch, kind of a 1 inch like thickness of like a gold trim that goes around it, and on this gold trim, there's like these lightning bolts engraved on it. Looking at it now, you can see that the lightning bolts are kind of slowly turning in place.
Okay, now this is weird.
I just ignore him. I think all of his stuff is weird.
No, the disc is moving.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Companions, the disc is moving.
Well, hold on. Let me continue with what they do see. Trick with your 14, which I think is a -1 for 13.
No, I
You-
rolled a 15 minus 1 equals 14.
Okay, gotcha. With that, as the lightning strikes and there is kind of a white flash momentarily. Same for you, Lucidus. As you're opening your eyes, you thought you saw just for a moment this massive shadow pass overhead. Just in that single instant. Though as you're blinking your eyes, looking around, you don't see anything.
Interesting.
For you, Ivor, as the lightning strikes, there's a flash of light. You instinctively open your eyes immediately, and for just the briefest second, you see this gigantic figure soaring in the sky.
Dragon.
It's almost like not bird, not dragon-like. It's more so like a bird,
Mhm.
almost like this
Okay.
giant eagle with these massive white and black wings
Gandalf, go
That was-
afraid.
that just shoots through the sky in just this fraction of a second. So quick that you thought for a second it wasn't even there.
Thunderbird.
Thunder! Thunder! Ho!
Did I see like kind of which direction it went?
Where are you now? You did, and you all have been vaguely keeping track of where you're heading with Rakul's compass.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that it was vaguely like west-ish
Mm-hmm.
of you.
Okay. Are there like any like big mountains or anything to the westish? Because I assume a
Not
big bird like that would probably roost in a big mountain.
not especially. Not really mountains per se in Limgrave. At most, it's just kind of like elevated hills and kind of steep.
Mm-hmm. All right. I like kind of narrow my eyes at the sky.
Okay.
You work tomorrow?
Range.
Yes.
Saturday?
Saturday.
Uh,
Okay.
like, are we like
Okay.
in like I assume like we're kind of
I'll
on
check
the
what I'm
road
in
a little
tomorrow.
bit.
What
Or
you
like,
say?
are we in like a clearing kind of area, or are we like traveling through the forest?
5, I believe.
You're not traveling through a forest at this point in time. For the most part, it's kind of a sparse plain with very few trees, kind of occasionally sprouting up. Before you're traveling alongside like a cliff, though for the most part it's just open field with like a little bit of shrub cover.
Gotcha. I would. We need to be careful. I saw something.
Um,
Something big.
oh, great.
A hand immediately goes over my slung bow.
Honestly, I'm more curious on why the disc is moving right now.
The disc.
Yeah,
Kind of look over at it.
You do see where the lightning bolts are engraved along the gold perimeter. They are kind of slowly rotating.
Turn to the west.
I turn to the west.
There's no real change per se.
Damn.
Could I make Arcana or Investigation? Or Religion?
You've tried to do so much with this disc. I'm gonna say no.
Are there like carvings? Like, is it like only lightning, or like any carvings of birds or anything on it?
There's no carvings of birds. very much so just metallic gray disc, a gold perimeter, lightning bolts engraved on the gold.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ivor, would you mind maybe doing something probably stupid for me?
Depends on what it is.
Hold the disc up high as you can. Maybe absorbs lightning.
I don't think it does anything like that, but even if it does, or even if it doesn't, I don't think I'm too likely to get. I don't think it'll make me any more likely to be hit when I have all these weapons. So I just grab it.
Make them all.
You can do so.
Sucks, doesn't it?
And I guess I'll hold it up.
Alrighty.
How much?
Uh,
Come here, give me some.
you can roll a d20.
D20?
No.
Correct.
Oh,
Four.
boy.
You hold it up, and moments pass, though nothing
much.
really happens.
I think you need.
It's just one of those days, man.
Dang it.
It's one of those fucking days.
I really think
Here
you
I
need
thought
to-
someone. I need to figure out what this thing is. What this
Maybe.
purpose is.
Never.
It's m-
No.
No,
Okay.
it's mostly just like I'm just sat down.
You have been given enough clues, though you haven't really paid attention to them.
the lightning. I know it had something to do with maybe the prince.
Please stop scratching me.
Mhm.
Could I
I
try
guess-
Okay.
spinning it?
The other thing we need to figure out how to get
Yeah.
you.
Well, I'm holding it. Seeing that nothing seems to happen, can Ivor just like try and like twist it or something?
Established.
Try and fuck with it. See if you can do anything with it.
You can do so, though nothing really happens.
Like even if I like
Fuck you.
try and like grab like the gold part and like turn it.
Correct.
Okay.
I've told you, Dragon King, there's nothing really to be activated with it
Yeah,
necessarily.
I know. I just
All right.
let me just. I'm gonna
Well-
watch it as we travel on. See if anything
Mm.
changes as it goes.
Well,
Dark chocolate.
hmm.
Orange dark chocolate.
Is there orange?
I'm just gonna
Got
keep an
orange in
eye
there?
on it.
Yeah,
If it
I
like
like-
starts
well,
like
it's not really
going any
it's like
faster or
or-
anything,
it's
I'm gonna keep
orange,
an eye out for
like-
that
I
bird.
don't like. I don't like that.
Understood.
Do you mind if I hold it because I've been trying to figure this out.
And you haven't for a while. It'll be fine.
I'd rather do it myself, please.
Where's on the cream?
I'll get that one.
Okay.
Beep. That's a silent no from Ivor.
What happened?
It's going all right.
Who is holding the disc?
I believe Ivor is.
And Trick Rakula says, please just let me do this. I want to figure this out.
I just look at him and he's like, "Look, I just wanted to get to 10K."
Mhm.
So he doesn't.
I'm just gonna kind of raise an eyebrow and I'm gonna ask, can you name one thing that you're going to do different that you haven't already tried?
I am gonna see if it changes as the thunderstorm is happening.
All right. And if it attracts the lightning, I think we both prefer for me to be holding it.
Yet what you do, you've been scouted ahead for us and paying attention to our surroundings. Am I wrong?
Mhm.
So
Ah,
I don't think having you occupied with that is a good idea then.
it's not exactly occupying.
Fine, fine, fine.
Alright. With that, I assume you continue onward.
Yeah.
Okay. For the most part, nothing too out of the ordinary happens. The drizzle does continually slow down until it's eventually just occasional drops. And the sun, though it's not apparent behind the clouds, it does continue its journey overhead until it's eventually beginning to set and just dip below the horizon.
Hmm.
Let me see.
Does the disc change at all?
Um, as you continue onward, the spinning gradually kind of slows. Doesn't do too much beyond that.
Maybe it predicts the weather when a storm comes.
Given it didn't start spinning until after the storm started, I don't think so.
Well, to be honest, I just looked at it, to be honest.
You had been looking at this relatively often, and
Actually,
if
no,
it
because
predicts a storm with barely even an hour's notice, then it's not very useful.
well, to be honest, I had it put it away. I wasn't paying attention to it.
The shamans can predict storms weeks in advance. This can't even do a day, and if it's predicting if it's still doing things even when the storm is right on top of us, I don't think it's predicting it.
I know it has some defensive property, but I can't figure out what kind.
I looked at well, the most I can stop an arrow.
No, it couldn't.
Yeah, I could just put the disc in front of you, and
I mean,
the arrow's gonna take off.
don't any of you guys have shocking grasp as a
Nope.
cantrip?
I do not.
No.
Lucidus?
What cantrip?
Shocking grasp?
No.
Damn, that's one of the best cantrips.
Haha, no.
Especially for you two that are trying to stay out of melee.
Isn't Shocking Grasp a melee spell attack?
It is.
Yeah, but what it is you can attack, and if you hit somebody, then they can't use their reaction for a turn. So then you can walk away.
Oh. Well, that's a lot better than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh wait, I've been.
I was just adjusting the time for my game.
I was looking at other things. I see.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. So yes, you continue onward. The time has passed. It is twilight, and that is just
Yeah.
what,
Setup can't be
about
the usual.
Rakul will try to find some grace.
oh, hold on. Let me continue.
Sorry.
It is twilight when you believe you just begin to see the outermost edge of Tingale in the distance. Four of you come upon as the road gradually kind of begins to widen from just like a rough, kind of muddy path to a more kind of paved dirt path that is wide enough for kind of two wagons to go through side by side. You see far up ahead, still more than like a few hundred feet.
Mhm.
Just the barest beginnings of this kind of wooden structure, kind of jutting out of the ground, as well as, well, not structure, kind of like this wooden wall jutting out of the ground, kind of stretching across the land, or you can see it. And also, as you're continuing on this path, what's interesting is on either side of you, either side of this path, you see a large field of crops and agriculture.
Nice. Gross vegetables.
Which, because that's different, because Lingrave is barren.
Correct. Someone, actually, probably only Trick, I think, can roll history or nature.
I have a +2 in
Well,
Guess we'll never know what he had a +2 in.
mhm.
Will forever remain a mystery, especially since he is not currently speaking and we cannot hear him, as his internet has died and he will no longer be able to talk with us. And you are still not speaking. You are still not speaking. You have not spoken. I have not heard anything from him.
I think I heard
I have
him
not heard.
briefly.
Hello?
Oh, I
There we
heard
go.
some robot.
Of course it's robot.
I can hear you clearly enough. It's not really robot for me.
Yeah, same here.
Mhm.
Okay. Probably my computer being retarded.
Yeah.
But
Also
anyway,
on my
Okay.
phone, and it doesn't take internet the best.
Yeah.
All right. So you're
21.
saying you have a +2 to something?
I got a 21 on the history.
Oh, neat.
Yes. You do recall that, as far as Limgrave goes, even during the age of peace, to a large degree, Limgrave has kind of always been barren and not farmable to any degree. It strikes you as very much so odd that something like this could be possible. As you're looking out, though it is like nighttime and dusk. It is very much so dark with a cloud cover, though you can at least just make out close to you of the field, like the crops of like tomatoes and like carrots and cabbage and vegetables that should not be possible in Limgrave.
Mhm.
I look out to the crop fields and I just take off my mask and pull down my hood and I just look out. What in the fuck? This shouldn't be possible.
why don't we find somewhere so we don't get noticed? Don't want the guards.
Hey, yeah. You guys stay closer to the tree line. I'll scout ahead.
I'll see if I find any grace.
And this is where I will be casting my first spell of the game.
Mhm.
First full spell of the game, I should say. I am going to kick the toes. For flavor text, I'm kicking the toes of my boots
Against the ground, and I am casting on myself Longstrider.
Gotcha.
For the next hour with 0 concentration.
He has +10 movement speed.
I have +10 to movement speed, and I am going to use my action to dash and my bonus action to hide for stealth.
Oh, okay. Well, you can stealth as you're going along. Suppose, how are you trying to stealth?
Moving through the crops of the field, staying low, trying not to disturb much of it.
All right, understood.
I am I am traditionally moving at half speed because of stealth, but I'm also dashing. So yeah,
I understand. So Trick slinks low and begins to kind of cut through the field of crops. For the most part, he's still kind of visible for you guys who at least know that he's there. Because the crops aren't really, it's not really like a field of corn where you can like hide in it. It's more so like small crops. But it's dark, so perhaps it will work.
I am very
Yeah.
short.
Also true. And you can continue onward.
And when I did kick when I kicked the toes of my boots against the ground, anybody who would once notice, you see them kind of like have a very opaque, I think is the right word, like crystal shield kind of go over the soles and the feet of the boots.
Hold on. Before you go, let me check my special move. I can help out more.
You, Marco, would also recognize this as a enchantment spell. I think Longstrider's enchantment.
The duration's only 1
It
minute.
is transmutation.
Yeah. Never mind. I can't help really. Thought I could maybe give you a bonus something, but I guess I can't. Yeah. That I don't.
All right.
What were you trying to do?
Let's see what heroism does. Maybe that could help.
Yeah, I know heroism wouldn't help in this situation.
Thought it would.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
While Trick slinks off, what do the rest of you do?
I am doing what I did last time. Try and find some grace nearby.
Interesting.
Somewhere maybe to, so if we have to sleep nearby the city, we have somewhere to safe at least.
I do. Okay. You can roll a religion.
19.
Okay. Where are you trying to set up your camp? Where are you looking for the grace at?
Away from the city.
Understood.
But not.
So are you
far.
trying to do it like where there's kind of like a little bit of sparse trees, like a little bit behind, like where the beginnings of like the town starts?
Yeah, in the woods. Yeah.
Understood. You can do that. You go about searching for that. I assume the three of you just do that while Trick goes off.
And that's the last time we'll ever see him.
And the next time you see Trick, his head is mounted on a pike.
Ah, great.
Okay.
Yay.
I bet they'd want to do a big ceremony for it.
Burn the heretic!
Burn me at the stake like a witch.
Yeah.
All right, Trick. So as you approach, getting closer and closer to the kind of wooden wall that kind of marks the beginnings of the town and kind of stretches across the perimeter, you can make a perception check.
Perception? I suck at perception. Oh,
Nat
hey!
20!
Let's go! Still a 19, though.
But it's nat 20.
Yeah, 19's the best I can fucking get.
Yeah, so No bitching.
Okay.
I do have my stealth mask on, by the way. Shit's
As you're creeping
going
through
down.
the crops, you see, as you approach, along the wood, there are a few kind of sentinels set up and they're doing patrols outside the town. You see one man in armor, kind of holding up a torch as he walks down the path, though he doesn't notice you as you just kind of sink low to the ground and continue past.
Moving faster than I normally would. Wahaha. I didn't roll
looking-
stealth. Shit.
Nice. I thought you did. I thought that was your.
I did
You
not
did a
roll
little
stealth.
while ago for like a 10.
Yeah, that was earlier. That was to sneak into the cave, and then
Okay.
I rolled another one to kind of like sink into the cave wall a bit. The stealth as a watcher. I didn't roll stealth for this.
What
There
was
we go,
your?
21. 21. We're fine.
I thought it already was a 21 from your on the Discord.
What?
Okay, it's fine either way.
No, that's a +2. That was a history check.
It's okay. That's fine. So that happens. You continue getting closer within like around 50 feet of the wall. You can see posted on top of it. There are also occasional sentries, kind of similarly dressed in armor and holding torches. They just kind of stare out. Some of them have bows. Some of them have more melee weapons. Some of them have like throwing spears, things like that.
How?
There's not
Oh,
too
I can't
many.
make us to win with prestidigitation, can I? No, I yes I can because I can extinguish torches. How far away are they?
They are like 55 feet.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have a fucking chance in hell. Prestidigitation only goes 10 feet.
Yeah, no, that will not be enough. The wall itself is probably like 10 feet tall.
How
Then
many feet tall?
Kenny-
2.
It definitely said 10. But there's not too many of them stationed on the wall. You see two are on the ground, specifically like at where you see this kind of large entrance into the town. There's no gate really. It's just kind of an opening. There's two stationed at either side of it, and then on the top of the wall, there's one sentinel on each side, kind of patrolling it back and forth.
Okay, so it's like an open gate kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, I think I got it.
Only if you had spider climb.
Yeah, really.
Sewer system?
Okay, I got an hour of base 40 feet movement. Oh god, what do I want to do? How long did it take me to get here?
I mean, not too long, like a few minutes.
I'm gonna poke around a bit. I first want to like go the other way and do like a full perimeter thing to see if there's any like little weak points in the wall I can use to sneak in besides the front gate.
Understood. So going around the perimeter, just choosing one side.
Because I go one
continue.
way to the gate, and then I choose to go the other way and do a full circle around.
Gotcha. So you're going around, and here's what you see for the most part. You do note there are a few other sentries making patrols on other sides of the wall. It strikes you as very much so different to Winchik, which number one didn't have sentries, and number two didn't have a wall to begin with.
More of a militaristic occupation.
Yes. You note that there is a second entrance at the back, or whichever one is the front, whichever one's the back. It's kind of a mirror to what you see on the other side. Though as you are going along, kind of towards the middle, in between the side, between the two gates, you note that there is, it's not quite an opening. You note that the wall in this section somewhat seems to have been damaged. Looking, you can see that there is
Is it like
one man.
is it like a
Yes,
is it like a missing plank in a fence kind of thing?
it's a bit more than that. You see that there's this kind of large, maybe like 5 by 10 section of the wall that's kind of been ruined, with this kind of somewhat open space that stretches for this portion of the wall. It's kind of like as though something has like fallen onto it, and that part's been kind of broken open. But you do see that there is a man who is working there. He has a hammer in hand, and is kind of going about doing repairs, like just kind of hammering away.
I'm gonna need to check something. Hang on. I need to check the info on one of my spells.
Be right back.
Does this look like? Does this man look like he can fight at all? Like he's some like any sort of fighter, or is he just like a civilian worker guy?
Roll insight.
Why are you making me roll the shit ones?
It's not my fault.
Yes, it is. 6.
A little difficult to make out in the dark. He does have like a torch stationed next to him, but it being night and not having dark vision, you're not too sure.
Damn. It's just one guy. I'm not gonna waste sleep on him. DM, flavor question.
Yes.
Would you let me use the ass end of my dagger to deal 1d4 bludgeoning instead of piercing?
Probably,
Basically
yeah.
knock him out.
Yeah.
Non-lethal damage.
Non-lethal damage. And I don't want to like stab him. I just want to like knock him in the side of the head, like pistol whip him.
I'd
Just
say
give him
sure.
a concussion so he doesn't see straight for the rest of his life. Which will probably just be in an hour.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
What did I miss?
I'm about to give a guy a concussion.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm going to take out one of my daggers.
Remember,
and I am going
non-lethal.
to sneak up behind him, and I'm going to give him blunt force trauma to the side of the head, non-lethal.
All right, so
with
you're able to get in close without him
Yes.
taking note of you, and you can make an attack roll with advantage.
This ain't gonna end well.
16, and I deal 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
See,
Let's see if that even takes him down.
He's a civilian. He shouldn't have much.
From what you can tell.
From what I can tell. Please. Oh god, I'm nervous.
Yeah, you shouldn't attack. You should just count around.
so as you do get closer and flip your dagger around, you get closer and step with your heart beating with each step. You raise your dagger, flip it around, and then bash him in the back of the head. And you see that he stumbles, but is not knocked unconscious.
Motherfucker!
Fuck! I used my other dagger as a bonus action attack.
Go ahead.
Non-lethal.
Non-lethal. So take away 3 from this.
Don't remind him. He can panic and just regular stab him, and it would be hilarious.
With
Am I
that,
getting the advantage?
however, I think when you have stealth, you have an advantage on all your attacks. I think.
Yes.
As long as he's still stealthed.
Okay, so that is I did 4 extra points of bludgeoning damage.
And roll your sneak.
No, you
I-
only get sneak once.
You only get sneak on 1 attack.
Oh.
If I got sneak attack on every single attack, that'd be bullshit.
Please sit it.
Yeah, the most powerful class would be the fighter rogue multi-class.
Oh yes.
Oh, it still is.
No.
I mean, yeah, it's fairly powerful, but it's not the most powerful.
With that, as he just takes a hit to the back of the head and begins to turn around, you whip your other dagger around and, quick as a
Just kinda-
flash,
I imagine
bash
I
him
just
again.
kind of like throw it a little bit from the sheath, and it just like flips around and knocks him in the face.
Exactly. And with that, he does fall to the ground with a thud.
May it look like he's sleeping.
I immediately use prestidigitation to douse the torch.
Easy enough to do.
Make
I
him
then
smell like
use the remainder
alcohol.
of my action to drag him, his hammer, and his torch into the bushes.
There's not exactly bushes next to you.
Prop him up.
Yeah, I prop him up against the wall to make it look like he's taking a nap.
I suppose sleight of hand, I guess.
I'd say deception with dexterity.
Yeah. Oh, here's the idea. Prestidigitation, make and smell like he has alcohol on him.
No, he doesn't seem like he'd be gonna. I'd argue deception with dexterity though for doing this.
Just you
Please?
can make a dexterity check. You don't have proficiency though.
Motherfucker! Fuck you! I have expertise in deception.
I really
This
don't
is-
think
Just deception
it applies.
in general.
I am trying to set it up to make it look like this guy fell asleep when I bash his head in.
I do get that. In my view, deception is more so like for social things, not really for this.
That's why I said with dexterity. I changed charisma to dexterity.
I don't see it. So just dexterity.
You're a bitch. I'll do sleight of hand.
Just dexterity.
Fuck you!
Come on, sleight of hand.
I was gonna give you sleight of hand, but you changed my mind. It's just dexterity.
Motherfucker, you had deception.
17. I forgot to change back to
That's
normal, but
still-
the first roll was 17. We're fine.
Still good enough.
Slip into the
You
city.
prop him up, make him look like he's just kind of taking a break, hammer in his hand, and is resting against the wall.
Okay, I take using prestidigitation, I make a small fire, just kind of flicker, and I take a look at like the weak points of the wall with that little small flash of light that only I would be able to see. Hopefully.
I think it's like the size of a candle, which is it's something, but it's this close up. You're able to see regardless, and it's not too difficult to make out. While some of it has been repaired, there is still, to a degree, an opening here that's like very obvious. It's
Am I
just
small enough to get through?
you are definitely small enough to get through.
And I will slip through.
Can do so easily enough. You just duck under the wood planks that have been set in place, and you make your infiltration into Tingale.
By the way, that guy's gonna wake up in like 1d4 plus 2 hours.
Okay. So you have entered inside Tingale.
Like
you
a fucking
immediately
boss.
you on the other side of the wall. You immediately see that Um, the first buildings are set like 15-ish feet away from the wall. There's kind of like a space of 15 feet on the other side that just goes around the perimeter. On the other side of that 15 feet, there are the beginnings of kind of wooden buildings. Some have like stone foundations, which very much so different than anything you saw in Winchick. Some have kind of chimneys where smoke billows out of them. The ground is still very much so dirt, but it's more so paved dirt rather than just kind of rough pathways. And you are in Tingale. For the moment, you don't see anyone out and about, besides just overhead, the sentinels who are looking outward on top of the wall.
Outward. Perfect. I'm so there's like a mat like a street type of thing between me and the next set of buildings.
Correct. Space of 15 feet.
Yeah, I'm stealthy. I'm hiding and dashing.
Do you hit?
Okay, you want me to do another stealth?
Yeah, you can stealth again since you broke it before.
Yeah, I broke it to knock him out. 24.
Very good.
Yeah, I just kind of Assassin's Creed my way through alleys and duck behind things, make sure I'm not being seen. I take note. I take note of main streets, housing, the different districts where things are, and I spend like the next 45 minutes exploring where I can.
Yeah. Well, with your stealth, you go unnoticed for the most part. Like when you do see someone kind of sitting outside one of the houses, you're able to kind of double back and go a different path so as to remain unnoticed.
One particular thing I am taking a look out for is any building that might look like a sorcerer's study.
Remember, we're looking for a doctor.
And yeah, fucking healers as well. Yep. But Trick personally is also looking out for like a sorcerer's study kind of building, like anything with that might have like a giant telescope, because Twilight, because the stars are the source of glintstone.
Very true. You can do an investigation.
Ooh, I have intelligence. That I am kind of good at investigation. That's an 11. Piss.
Okay. So you remain undetected for the most part. At most, people get like glimpses at you, just the barest shadow before you disappear,
Yeah,
unnoticed.
like that like the thing you thought you saw in the corner of your eye.
But it was, of course, just the wind.
Of course, yes. Must have been my imagination.
So your investigation, as you're going through the town, you were expecting something kind of similar to Winchick, but it's very much so different. There's quite a bit more buildings than before, and it's taken you more than a little bit of time to go and investigate the main pathways, trying to see where this doctor you're trying to meet is without any kind of detailed instruction. You've gone for like nearly an hour, 30 minutes. You haven't made too much progress
An
besides
hour
just
and
knowing.
30.
This is a large town.
Shit.
And you're trying to navigate it without being able to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Very true.
And remember, we're supposed to find the doctor.
Fuck it. I'm gonna cast Long Strider again as soon as it ends because Long Strider only lasts an hour.
You can do so. The
So both my
crystals.
spell slots gone.
Yeah.
Remember, we're trying to find the doctor. The Witherwood told us about.
Yes, but I'm also trying to find somebody to teach me glintstone magic.
I don't think that's a good idea right now.
For me, it is. I have my reasons. Trick has his reasons.
What are you doing? Quite a bit of time has passed. Are you just going to continue trying to search?
I'm gonna continue searching for another 15 to 20 minutes. Then I'm gonna make my way back to the lads.
Okay, you can roll investigation again.
Okay. Oh please, oh god, oh golly gosh. That's a bit better. 18.
An 18 is pretty good. Okay. Here is what will happen. Let me see. Okay. So as you creep through the town, kind of going through to sections that you've mostly just avoided, either due to difficulty or because you wanted to check other areas first. You creep towards the more central area of the town. Coming to rest at the side of a building. As you do so, though, just pausing and investigating your surroundings, you do hear this faint, almost like a crying coming from the building you're resting on, just very vaguely making out through the shutters.
I would like to peek in through the shutters.
Yeah, you can do so easily enough, just kind of using a finger to tilt one of them upward, peeking in. You see a very humble abode. There is a fire crackling within this kind of stone fireplace. There is a couple inside, a man and a woman. They're sitting at a table with the man kind of with a hand placed on the woman's back, kind of consoling her as she cries. And you hear her just kind of mutter, "Oh, darling, what are we gonna do? With the taxes increased, how are we gonna afford food?" And you hear him kind of respond, "It'll be all right. We don't have a choice. We'll get through it one way or the other. We're not the only ones going through this. We just have to stick together." And that just kind of continues on.
Does this man look like the doctor we are seeking, or at
Don't
least
know
look
what the
like
doctor
a glintstone sorcerer?
Well, exactly what do you think a glintstone sorcerer looks like? He doesn't like have like regal robes or like books
Trek
or
would
anything
kind of be
like
like
that.
looking around, like be looking for a guy who's like not like regally dressed per se, especially in like Limgrave if he's living here, but like not dressed like shit either. Kind of like very nice casual clothes.
I do get that. For the most part, you don't really take him as fitting that description.
What about
He just has kind of common linen for the most part.
What about Actually, can I make a spellcasting a spellcasting check to see if I can sense any magic coming from these people, or do I not have the enough education to do that?
You couldn't really do that regardless.
Thank you.
For the most part, you don't really, though.
Okay. Have I found any place that would look like the study of a glintstone sorcerer and or the building of the office of a doctor.
You haven't really seen anything like a Glintstone sorcerer's kind of study. Otherwise, you're looking away from this moment, these couples consoling each other, toward across the street. You do see another building. This one's a little bit differently shaped than the rest. It's kind of longer and a little bit more squat. You see the shutters are closed, but there is a faint light flickering within.
I immediately using my my bonus action to dash and action to hide, staying low and stealthy. My glintstone boots still active. I dash across and I look into the shutters where there is the faint flickering light.
Ooh. Well, I suppose not.
By the way, my stealth mask is like completely black, almost featureless, and I do shift my skin to be a pitch black tone. If any should escape.
I gotcha. As you dash across the street to the shutters, kind of ducking by them and lifting one of them up, you're able to see inside this building. For the most part, you see just a long building that's just kind of one room. There's these many different like beds kind of strewn about the room. Each one kind of has a dresser, and in the center, hanging from the top of the room, there's this kind of lantern that's lit. You don't see anyone within at the moment. Though as you are peeking in, you kind of hear a little bit behind you someone kind of mumbling, "Huh? What was that?" And you hear kind of footsteps begin to approach.
I actually did think this moment. Okay.
Hide.
I use minor illusion to So what does like the rest of the front of of this building look like that I'm at?
So the front of the building is very much so flat, though it is long. It has two shutters on either side of the door that are both shut, and there is a sign that kind of hangs from the top of the door.
Are there
It has
I'm
a relatively short, flat roof.
I'm going to use minor illusion to make it look like the cube of 5 feet that I'm in to look like a raised mound of dirt, and I'm just gonna like tuck and hide.
Okay.
He has no reason to. He has no reason to investigate for magic. He merely saw something in the corner of his eye. Please.
Yeah, I think that should work. You can create an image in a 5-foot cube. Yeah.
And I just like tuck my knees up into my chest.
Circus folk.
Yep, just complete contortionist circus folk. Just like bend myself up into enough of a space that I can just hide in like a raised mound of dirt. That's like piled against the side of the wall.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh god! I'm nervous!
Eventually, as you kind of tuck into yourself, curl your body inward, and you create this facade on top of you with these thousands of tiny glintstone crystals that form the image. You see, coming around the bend, there is a relatively common-looking man. He's a little bit elderly, though as he looks on, he just kind of turns his head back and forth. He steps forward a little bit towards you, continues a little bit. You get increasingly worried when he continues to step forward. Just kind of looking around, and your breath catches when just barely his foot passes through the illusion as he just rests there, not saying a single word, and you not breathing a tiny bit.
Fuck, I'm getting nervous. Jesus!
Though
Oh,
eventually
killed me.
he turns and leaves.
Oh, okay. I stay there for another minute or two. Oh wait. How long does minor illusion last? That's a good question. I don't
That's
think
for
it is.
1 minute.
It lasts. I didn't put it in the
It is
tray.
1 minute.
It is 1
I'm
minute,
looking at it.
and I don't believe it is concentration.
It is not.
Yeah. After all, it is simply a cantrip.
So,
Staying there for another 30 or so seconds. I then dispel the magic. And then I start booking it towards what I would consider the front entrance, which is the entrance closest to where I left the party.
Alrighty.
Knowing that I did find the doctor, and I'm just kind of tracing a path back towards that entrance so I can use that entrance.
Okay, you can do that.
And I did
You're
not
making it
break
correct.
stealth.
I was going to say, regardless, go ahead and roll stealth again for me.
Fuck you.
why didn't you just go to the doctor's place?
Because I want to have full access to my spells when I do. I have Charm Person. Oh no.
Shit!
Yeah,
That's not good.
it's definitely less than ideal.
I am dashing. Still with Longstrider active.
Understood.
Be active for another like 15, 20 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes.
You said you're heading to the main entrance?
Yes, the main entrance. I'm still using like the back alleys to duck behind.
He's talking about the way that he came in.
No, I'm talking about I don't use that entrance, and I use one of the official entrances, which is the one that is closer to where I left you guys.
Why?
I have my fucking plan. I have my magic. Piss off.
Okay. You can do so.
And anytime I do find somebody kind of investigating that little whoosh behind them, I use minor illusion to like make a distraction sound and make it sound like an animal is slipping by.
It's not quite that simple.
Fuck you!
So, as you're kind of dashing through, you do actually draw a few glances of the few people who are out and about. A number of people do notice you, though no one kind of like cries out or anything like that.
You're making me nervous here, Sarden.
And you do near the gate. Or, well, not the gate, but like the main opening on the side where the rest of the party is.
So what I want to do when I get to the main entrance so I can get out stealthily is that I want to create the sound of a growling bear away from the side that I'm trying to like sneak around the bend of.
I think I understand what you mean. So, you are, like, there's a 15-foot gap between you and the wall. You're kind of crouched behind one of the buildings that's near the opening.
I do want to get like, I want to like push myself up against the wall, so I'm like right there, so I can get the most out of my 30 feet of minor illusion.
Understood. Okay, and where do you want to create it?
I want to create it outside of the wall and sort of like in front and like in the darkness past where the torchlight reaches. And create the sound of a hungry, growling grizzly bear.
Why are you
Right.
doing this?
That's the same thing I asked.
So I can slip behind the motherfucker.
Then why did you just go through the
You gotta
wall?
in stealth.
I am creating a distraction.
Well, I know, but you can do something other than a growling grizzly bear. Just make the sound of like paint cans falling over or something.
On the outside of town? Where they're
Okay.
facing the wilderness?
So you can do this. You just peek out to get line of
You're
sight,
still inside.
and
That's my bad.
furthest point that you're able to, you choose that point, manifest a shard of glintstone there, and as it shatters, it oscillates and creates the vibrations of mimicking a bear's growl.
And I have this go off for like the full minute. And as soon as the guard takes like a 5-foot movement, I am immediately slipping behind him and just disappearing into the darkness.
Well, not quite. So I mentioned there's 2 guards on either side of the gate.
There's 2 on either side? Ah, shit.
I said this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, that's why we're.
I forgot about that bit. I'm sorry. All this stealthing freaked me out.
Then why are you the rogue?
All right.
My
So
heart got pounding, okay?
you create this sound, and immediately as it happens, the guard that is like on the left side closest to it, he immediately grabs the blade at his side and shouts, "What? It's a bear! Light!" And but I suppose you don't see it. But from up top, you eventually see an arrow go flying. This one that has kind of fire blazing at its end, kind of shoots towards the area where the sound kind of originates from. What's happening? What are you doing?
I am just waiting for the 2 guards on my side to move up 5 feet. And then I'm immediately just dashing and hiding and getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Right. You see that the one who called for light does take a few steps forward before he glances back at the other one, they're just kind of glancing at each other. The one who steps forward turns and says, "I don't see anything. Is it? Hey, give me some more light. Bring the torch over here." And you see that?
I want to
Yep.
actually. I would like to use minor illusion then again to change the location to more to the left, and then create the sound of an angry, hungry, roaring bear.
Oh, this ain't gonna end.
Oh God!
Why are you
You're
doing
freaking me out!
it?
Shut up!
There's so extra shit.
You can do that. It is an action to dismiss and another action to create again. It does give them some time to investigate. So they will each
Just
try
waiting
to
for these fuckers to move
investigate.
ahead. I'm just waiting for the fuckers to move forward so I can get out of there.
One of them has stepped forward a bit towards the light. The other one has stepped forward a little bit, though he's still kind of in the middle of the opening.
Has he moved forward 5 feet from the wall?
He has.
Then I am getting the fuck out of there. I'm immediately like ducking behind him and just gone. Hide and dash. Stealth again?
Not quite.
Oh God!
So As you do go to slink past him, yeah, that is most definitely, yeah, that is this roll, for sure. As you do go to slink past him, maybe it's that your cloak kind of brushes up against the wall. There's a faint sound as you brush up against it, trying to not make contact with him and slink past. Where the one guard who was kind of lacking behind the other one, he does turn, and he very much so makes out your form in the dark of night. As
Okay,
you
then
just
I am
bolt off.
double dashing. I am taking full advantage of this 40 feet base movement, and I dash for 80 and dash again for 160.
Understood. So there's just a brief moment where you both make eye contact, and then you're gone like a flash of lightning, just bolting away. And you do hear that they call after you. What? Who goes there? And there's other kind of shouts, though you are dashing away and don't quite make them out.
Holy fuck! Can't believe that actually worked.
Now it's gonna be tougher to get in there, I think.
We'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Okay. The rest of you were cool. And Trick initially left, and you went about trying to find a grace.
Yeah.
You very much so did not find one. And you spent like at least an hour searching just the land kind of outside the supposed territory of the town. You didn't really locate one.
Damn it.
So what do you do?
I believe it's best for us to make camp in the woods. Wouldn't you agree, Ivor? Hello?
Hmm.
Ranger?
Yeah. What has been said to me?
I asked if okay. Raikou said, I think it's best for us to make camp in the woods so that when dawn comes, maybe they won't see us.
Probably, but no fire.
No fire, of course. I guess we just find somewhere deep in the woods to have camp. Net one for him.
Perfection.
I see. Let me see.
A bit of an update of nerddom. The original Nosferatu, the first version of Dracula put to film, is 100 years old today. Woo!
Cool.
Yeah, they're irrelevant.
Fuck you! It was nerd information.
Ivor, you're going about trying to find a place to settle. Step on a snake, and it jumps out at you, though you're able to dodge it.
Nice.
It's just slithering at you.
Can I tell? Do I know what kind of snake it is or no?
Like I don't think grass snakes bite actually, do they? So probably not a grass snake.
They can.
Okay, then it's a grass snake.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just like shoo it off, shoot away.
Yeah. It leaves easily enough. And you do find a spot to make camp. So specifically, how are you making camp?
Honestly, the main thing I'm doing is I would probably try and gather up a bunch of brush and stuff to like just basically get like an area that's like more comfortable to lie down on than the normal ground.
A little bit difficult to do with most things being at least a little damp and soggy.
Fine.
But if you're willing to endure it, you can make something.
That's fine.
Trick. When you're dashing off, leaving the town, to make an investigation.
Trick.
Dulon.
I thought it was still you two. Sorry.
Make an investigation.
Investigation for you, Trick.
Ah, shit. Dice at 7.
Yeah. So you do dash away, your breath rushing and your heart beating as you kind of more or less escape to safety from far beyond the walls. Though, as you're looking,
I just like the idea of how you described it as like, we meet eyes for the first time, then you're just fucking gone.
yeah. Just a brief moment of eye contact before you turned and dashed
like
away. Yes.
Yeah, just like the flash. It's like, I'm there 1 second and I'm gone. I got teleported, Jesus.
Though, as you get away with your hands on your knees, kind of breathing heavily, you don't see the camp of your friends. They're not quite where they last were.
I would like to try and make a tracking check.
That's what the investigation was.
Fuck you!
Well, actually, survival is used for tracking.
Either works.
I'm pretty sure your survival is worse, so it doesn't change
is.
anything.
It is. It most definitely is. I need to up my wisdom. Jesus Christ. Alrighty. I wander in the woods. I wander into the woods for a bit. If I do not find them, I climb into a sturdy tree and take a nap on the branch.
You can roll investigation or survival again.
I'm gonna roll investigation because that is better. 12.
So, with the camp that you guys made, how close is it to the roadside? Or are you just trying to avoid notice?
Hello? Hey, Dragon King, remember when you got mad at Ranger for not responding?
Yeah.
So do that.
Okay, what?
How did you guys try and make your camp?
Off beaten pad.
Really wouldn't have put too much effort into hiding it. It's mostly just trying to make it comfortable, and especially since I want Trick to be able to come and find us. Mainly just like we found a nice little clearing area that I believe could potentially be hidden, but hasn't done any process to that yet. Just mainly just going out and gathering supplies, some wood to eventually like dry out over the course of the next few days if we're staying here for a little while. Stuff like that.
I gotcha. Probably would not be able to find a clearing per se, as Like for the most part, it's just sparse trees. You could just make camp little ways off the path, behind whatever large enough grouping of trees there is. Go there. Eventually, Trick, you do find the camp, and the rest of you watch as Trick Highland himself does return to the camp.
So, did you talk with him?
That was fast.
Did you get the information we needed?
I didn't get any information. I was found out slightly and I didn't want to risk it, so I booked it. However, I did find the office. I didn't want to disturb him in the night. That would be rather intimidating. And I take off my mask, and you see I am dripping with sweat.
And what do you think? Going there in the city during dawn?
I can easily do it during the dawn. I can easily doing it during the day.
That is a more risk than we need.
That's why I'm gonna go alone again. And I wanted to have full access to me magic. Been exhausted, and holy shit!
Keep your voice down. Keep your voice down.
Sorry.
We do want.
Well,
They did, however, catch a glimpse of me.
Oh,
Glimpse.
motherfucker!
However, I did get the fuck out of Dodge rather quickly, so they didn't get a good look at me. All they saw was, think of it like you look into the night and you think you see something,
They're going
and it looks
to be
humanoid.
on guard now.
They're always on guard. They're guards. That's what they do.
No, that means they're going to be more vigilant.
One person seeing something weird isn't exactly cause for too much alarm.
Yeah, see, exactly. They just
Maybe
saw something
some-
weird. He, as far as he knows, his brain is playing tricks on him in the middle of the night when he's tired. He was also scared shitless because I made the sound of a roaring bear nearby as a distraction.
Now that will probably put people on guard.
A little bit for a few hours, but once they don't hear any sounds of the bear, they should be fine.
I
At
suggest we
most,
take turns watching.
Well, shouldn't we do
At
that anyway? We're
most,
not at a point of grace.
At most, their highest concern is there's a bear roaming around and keep watch out for a bear.
Yeah.
Why?
I did give one guy a headache though.
Wait, what?
I had to knock out a worker in order to get into an unofficial side entrance. You want to try stealthing? Next time, you do the stealth, and when you come across somebody who isn't moving, you try to get past them without knocking them the fuck out.
They see you at least?
For a brief second, the first strike didn't exactly put him out, but the second one did. Barely got a glimpse at me.
Yeah. But that, I think...
Besides, he's a worker.
That, I think maybe a few days of sitting around might be best.
Probably the best. I will also say, I don't think the people are going to be too difficult to get a hold of. They're being taxed to shit.
Great. Just more things.
Can barely afford food, man.
Really? I mean, I'm gonna look. Didn't we just pass like a big ass farm?
You didn't.
They
How are
are
they not able to afford food?
Taxation when the lords require tax at a higher count. Sometimes
I know you
can't
don't aren't very well versed in how money works in the rest of the world, but citizens, in order to keep a living abode, pay a portion of their wages to their superiors, more or less a lord. Generally, these wages.
I know what taxes are.
Okay, I don't know what you know in the Forbidden North. I don't know how your culture works.
I'm just surprised that people so close to such a rather large farm are having difficulty buying food.
It's probably because the taxes are so bullshitly high.
Yeah, because most likely they're being taxed pretty high that they
They
can't.
probably can
afford.
barely afford the clothes on their back and the roofs over their heads. He does sigh, like taking a deep breath as he just sits down by the fire with it, and he starts.
There's no fire.
But otherwise,
Nope.
I thought there was.
This ain't gonna end well for us, is it?
Probably not. But I did scout out most of the town. Did find the doctor. I know where his office is, so I know how to find him during the
draw
day.
map of the city.
Most likely, yeah.
I bring out a parchment.
Unfortunately, I did not find any magic users' place
Why are you looking for a magic user?
because I want to learn.
Well, you'll learn, but not here.
I wanted to see if there was anybody in there that I could see if they would be interested in teaching me. Okay,
Like,
I'm a glintstone sorcerer like my mother.
yeah,
I
but
want to learn.
People will only see you as a tarnish.
I can easily bypass that.
Enough of this. You two need to not argue so much.
I'm just worried.
You're always worried.
And it helps.
So is my mother.
And it.
Worry like my mother. You don't need to.
Yes, I do.
Both of you, enough. I understand your concerns, Rakul, but I believe we will be fine for the time being. And Trick, I do agree, though best be careful with your usage. I know as someone who has wielded glintstone sorcery, it
Not
can
exactly,
attract
but close enough.
attention.
You don't have glintstone sorcery. You have a different type.
It's close enough. It's fine.
Well,
As someone who has used various similar kinds of sorcery, I know that it can attract attention, wanted and unwanted.
Yeah, but if you
Either
use
way.
the right place, like I did earlier, it can.
Either way, we must not argue over such frivolous matters. We take what we can, and we keep pushing forward. We stay careful, but we don't need to be paranoid either.
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to
You're trying
learn
to
what my
help.
mother tried to teach me.
I know.
Now that I have these magics, I realize how important and useful it can be.
And it will be good to learn and continue to learn. We just have to know when the right time to do so is.
That's why I tried to look, but there is none.
The time will come. Just be careful for the time being.
I
Either
will.
way, I don't want to hear any more arguing between you two.
In the morning, I'll go ahead and check the gates. I won't go near them. I'll just check them.
Give me
See
the
if-
telescope you brought.
I grab it, flip it around, and just hand it to him like a wooden knife.
How good a condition is it in, DM?
Well, realizing what the price actually is, it's relatively weathered, though still functional.
I cast Mending on it.
Very good. The few cracks in its frame, where there are cracks, slowly close. The glass kind of clears as your arcane energies flow into it. And it is very much so restored to proper functioning order.
Sweet!
I'll say, I would advise using the tree line to survey. And use this to be able to see it more closely without getting too close.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
I may be a divine artist, but my family
Go ahead.
knows battle and strategy.
And I think after a few days of dilly dally, Lucy, do you have any illusion magics that can disguise yourself?
I believe I do.
then probably best if Lucidus and I went into town as travelers.
Do we know if this will even work?
Most likely, my gift allows me to douse the tarnished glow for to an extent. We tried on Gimli, and he was able to detect that it did dim. But he was also aware that I am tarnished. These people are not.
Let's hope this will work.
And
I do not.
if my gift can douse can dim the glimmer of tarnished glow, and I see no reason why a disguising spell wouldn't be able to completely douse it altogether.
If you believe this will work, but if you do get found out, please do not kill anyone.
I don't plan to. When I found the worker, I didn't even think of killing him. I knocked him out and set him up as if he was sleeping.
We should rest.
Wow.
Who wants to take first watch?
I believe I will do so for the time being.
I'll take third.
I'll take last watch.
Ivor, you're taking second. And Leonidas will aid us in that too for the whole night.
And we all take our long rest.
Perception rolls? DM?
You can all roll perception, yes.
I'll roll one for Leonidas also.
14. Because I am last watch, I will be right back.
18 for me. And perception. 6 for him.
Alrighty. That is alright. We get to the specifics of what happens, if anything happens, next session.
Cool. I have stuff I need to do.
Well, hopefully this goes.
Um,